content. So without further ado, we bring our friend in from Fox 29. Garry Cobb joins us now. I can't wait to hear what JAKIB has to say. Super Bowl 60 week. So, JAKIB, after 18 glorious interviews, they find a guy who's been a coach for 24 months.
Mm-hmm.
Not a coordinator, but a coach, period, for 24 months. And Sean Mannion from Green Bay. Before we get to Vic, let's go there and give me your assessment on another guy who's never called plays. He's a new offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, clearly, you're taking a serious chance. There's no doubt about that. I can understand why they would, though, because they don't want to bring in somebody that's going to be old and played out. Because they already had that. That's what we had last year. We had a guy that was running the offense, but that's the offense that I played against. I mean, come on. The simple, simple things, and because really, I say when I was playing in the league, everybody wasn't pushing the envelope with 3 and 4 receivers on the field, motion and everything. A lot of times it was run. They were going to run the ball for the most part on first down, and that's the way the Eagles are. They're going to run the ball on first down, and really a lot of times you wouldn't even see, like on third down, you're going to see 3 wide receivers. But other than that, they're going to have two wide receivers on first down. This is the game that I played when I was in the league. But come on, you got to come up more than that now. And so I believe that this young kid they had he came in, he showed them some different things, and they liked the fact of the people he's played for, and that he's borrowing a lot of their ideas, and he's coming in, giving his ideas and things. And I wish they had got somebody earlier, somebody that was proven and everything. But I think that what they were looking for, especially they got 2 of them really. They brought in two guys. They got the number one guy that they saw, and they got the other one too. A kid from Tampa Bay,
Josh Grizzard.
That's right. So they got both of those guys, and with the position they were in, I probably would have done the same thing, because I think that they got a kid who's got a lot of great ideas. He's seen people with better ideas than what the Eagles were putting out there last year. Yes, he doesn't come in with any experience, but you couldn't get both. You couldn't get somebody who was on cutting edge and somebody who's going to come in and give you some bright ideas. So they said, you know what, we're going with the bright ideas. We're not going to go with experience. And so this is what they got. And then they ended up getting a guy who's already been an offensive coordinator by getting the guy from Tampa too. So they brought both of them in. So I can understand why they did that.
But Garry, okay, yeah. Help me out on this.
Now
though.
It could go south. We know it could go south, but not necessarily. It could flourish too.
How about this? Don't you think that this also puts more pressure on Nick? Because if you're going to hire somebody,
puts pressure on all of them. Really, come on, all of them are under the gun. Jalen,
but if you're the owner, if this fails, Vic's out. I mean, Nick's out. Sirianni's out. No. You're not going to have 3 fires in 4 years, are you?
They could start thinking about that. I don't know that he would be, but that's something they would consider. Yeah, I could see them considering that. Yeah, I could see them considering that, especially, somebody blossoms this year, and they go like, you know what? We want that offensive coordinator. That's the guy we want. We want somebody come in here next year and bring in those ideas, But these guys, I mean, that's part of their job, is they're going to be on the cutting block if they don't succeed. And he knows that, and they're not going to go forever with Nick there if he's not doing well. I mean, because I know they want to win. And so they went out and they got these 2 young guys they're bringing in.
So they're doing it by committee then?
To some extent, I think that I don't think it's all just committee, but I definitely think they're taking both of their ideas. Because look, they had both of them come in. They come in, they give their ideas and things of what they want to do, and now they're going to have those two guys working together. That's what they're going to have, because one is the passing game coach, the other's the offensive coordinator. So
Yeah,
they clearly are going to have to work together.
Get me here. If I'm a player in that huddle,
yeah,
and Kevin Patullo now has called plays, Josh Grizzard has called plays, Nick Sirianni's called plays, and the only guy in the building on the offensive side that hasn't called plays is the new coordinator. I mean, how is that not by committee? So if I'm a player, I'm like, wait, which guy doesn't fit? That guy, he's never called plays. He's only been a coach for 23 months.
Now they are taking
I'm with you. He must have impressed them.
Yeah, he must have impressed them. And but I understand where they were at. Okay. They basically, maybe some of the people they would have liked to have gotten not available. They're gone. So they're sitting in the chairs. They love the ideas this kid is bringing in, because he's been all these the coaches that they would love to go get those coaches. They would love to bring them in. Like, they would love to be able to go and out to LA, right? And get the head coach, bring him in here. They would like to do. They can't do that. See,
I remember going to a dance one time at Stanford High School. They invited like the Catholic High guys over to Stanford High. And I remember all like the football nights guys like yourself. They were dating all the really hot ones. And there I was like, I got to do this. That's what's left. Holy crap. All right, I'll take her over there. Is that what you're saying right now? I'm picking up the leftovers here.
Well, I think that, till he proves himself, you could say that. Yeah, you could say that. But out of the choices they had, I understand what. Now it could blow up in their face.
Yeah,
it could very well blow up in their face, because some of the other people they've hired, they were disappointed in. And Kevin Patullo, come on, they wanted him to step in and do a great job, but he didn't. So this is the situation they're in, and it could blow up. But I think it's what they want to do. They would rather be pushing the envelope and have somebody that's got some new ideas, rather than go with the old, played out stuff that we've already seen. So this is what they've chosen to do. Now, if it blows up, we're gonna all be sitting right there watching it. You're not gonna have to say, "Oh man, it's blowing up." You're not gonna have to say that.
Hey, Gary, this is gonna be like a bonfire. This thing's gonna be like a bonfire if this thing goes south. I mean,
yeah. Well, I think that's the choice. And really, once they fired him and they started talking about it, I think that because of the situation with a lot of the guys, some people wouldn't want to come in here, because it is hot in Philadelphia. It gets hot.
Oh yeah.
It's going, and it's going to be hot one way or the other when that season starts. And people don't want to hear excuses, and they don't want to hear that. But believe me, if it goes south, boy, you're going to know right away. You're going to know it's, somebody going, in fact, you can get a little 3-year-old kid to go out and go, hey, mom, it's going south. Kid's going to know it's messing up.
Well, I got a beef with you too, because a guy was watching the show from Tampa and he goes, yeah, Sileo's doing the same stuff down here in Tampa too. He's going after Todd Bowles. He's doing the same stuff up in Philly. A guy, JAKIB, who's on Fox 29 up there, blaming him for all the BS that's going on. I'm like, no, listen, he's part of this too, man. He's in the locker room. I'm like, the media in Philly, you're right, man. Do you think this kid has a short leash, and that's why they did hire the other guy, Josh Grizzard, in case this thing is going sideways? Because I'm going to agree with you. By the way, Gary, Sean Mannion's reputation as a guy who a lot of people like and think that this guy's going to be a star. Yeah, really, there's a lot of people saying this guy's going to be the next it. But they did hire somebody just in case in Grizzard, right?
I don't think that's why they hired him, though. I think they want them to work together.
Okay.
Yes, and I think they liked what they heard from both of them. See, so they would like to have that, they know that that they came in with some good ideas, things they want to see, because they got all these weapons on the offense, and they would like to see them utilized. I mean, you're paying these guys all this money. Why don't you see these guys doing some of the things you see other teams doing? And I think they're capable of doing a lot of things, and that's why I think they went out and they got some young guys with fresh ideas who really, they're really going to be utilizing some of the ideas some of these other teams have. Now, we've seen, like with the Rams, we've seen how the Rams, they do a lot of things with motion, utilizing their tight ends. Now, I would like to see the Eagles draft a couple tight ends, because I don't think Goddard's probably going to be back.
Is AJ?
I think they're going to try to bring AJ back, most definitely, because I think they would like to, if the offensive coordinator, these guys they just brought in, they would like to have AJ as a weapon.
You bet.
So they're going to try to talk them into keeping AJ, and then if they come in with some good ideas, because really, what AJ was complaining about last year, he was telling the truth. That's why, everybody knew, they got a plain offense. They need some new ideas. So he would love to be utilized in some of these ways. So I would imagine he could be sold on these guys coming in, and they're going to do some different things. Now, is it really going to happen? Hopefully it will work together, but we don't have any guarantee. There's not any guarantees.
Okay, so the big story today in Philadelphia is the possible retirement of Vic Fangio. How catastrophic would that loss be if he does call it a career after 5 decades of coaching in the NFL?
Well, it definitely would be monumental, because you see the way he does it. He does a great job each year, really, of growing. Especially young guys, they learn a lot from him. And I, hear them in the locker room and how they're talking about things he said, and things they're going to do, and how they're going to play the defense, and what their keys should be, what they're looking for when they look at the tape and stuff. So they learn a lot from Vic, because the guy has been there, forever as a defensive coach in the NFL. So he's developed a lot of things, and if he doesn't come back, then they're going to be on fire, because they got to go out and find somebody then, and that's not going to be an easy job to bring somebody in at the level that he is. What happened?
There we go. JAKIB.
Yeah.
You got me. Okay, so Garry, what and how catastrophic would that be if Vic Fangio retires?
I mean, it would be monumental. It'd be monumental, and it'd be a step back, because I don't think there's anybody they could come in that's going to be on his level. But I know that they would. I don't know who's out there right now, and you got to know that when you're looking for coaches at this time, a lot of times, most of the guys are gone, because everybody's done their job of picking who they wanted to bring in. So you're going to be in a situation where it might not be the easiest thing to do. Who knows? You might have to be begging somebody else to come out of retirement. See?
He is so instrumental in what he brings to that defense. In your opinion, do you think it's more about his age, or do you think it's more about how they do business? Look at the coordinators that they have hired. Also, too, maybe it's the fact that they took a blowtorch to his #1 ranked defense of a year ago, and he had to go out there with all those Timu signings and had to go there and make that defense. What do you think it is? Do you think it's just age?
I think it's just age. I mean, he's gotten to a point where he's working, and when you're working like that, you're putting in some serious hours, looking at tape, putting in that time, through the week, and there's a grind. I mean, and there's pressure there and everything, and maybe